What is the difference between an index fund and a mutual fund? Hi friends, we're officially in 2021. I've got something really exciting coming up this week that I've been filming, but I wanted to take a beat and go over something that maybe some of you have heard about, and if you want a little bit more clarification, I'll explain. If you have been learning about the market, or if you already know about the market, you probably have heard of index funds. An index fund is different than an index because it's a fund that follows the index. So previously I've explained what an index is. So S&P 500, Dow, and NASDAQ. Those are all units of measurement giving you an overall view of how the market is doing. For instance, the S&P 500 follows 500 companies, and the S&P 500 index fund is a fund of those 500 companies that you can invest in. It's a little bit bonkers if you don't quite understand, but basically an index is a measurement, an index fund is something that you could put money into and make money back. So how does it work, and why is it different than a mutual fund? An index fund is passively managed. So if I wanted to invest my money into the S&P index fund, it is a passively managed fund following all of the companies in the S&P 500. And the companies in the S&P 500, they don't change very often. It's pretty easy that the 500 companies that are in the S&P index are also in the index fund. Pretty simple. And when I buy a share of that, my money is then taken and spread out all across all those 500 companies, which gives me, as an investor, the advantage of having a diverse portfolio, which is always key when you want to invest. And that sounds a lot like a mutual fund, right? Basically taking your money and spreading it out over a bunch of companies. Well, what's the difference? Index funds are passively managed. They are following an index, which means that they don't incur as many fees as a mutual fund. But a mutual fund might have a lot more returns because it's professionally managed. So you have a bunch of people, really smart people looking at all these different companies. You might have somewhere like an 18% return every year, which is like amazing, but you also have to pay $200 a year or whatever the cost is to have your money in that mutual fund. But it offsets the account because you're making so much, depending on how much you have in there, that is. But an index fund, because it's passively managed, its fees are nominal. However, its annual returns also might be a little bit less. But the reason why everyone really likes index funds so much is because the annual returns, although they might be less than a mutual fund, they're never really occurring any super high fees. Whereas a mutual fund, you do take the risk that if it's a bad year, you still have to pay that fee. So that's pretty much it. Here's the thing about an index fund and a mutual fund. Have them both. Get both of them. Why not? And index funds, there are so many different ones. It's super cool. You don't have to buy the ones that are $300 plus just to get in. You can buy some as low as $13. If you really want to research some of your total market index funds, those are the best ones to invest in. And it's also a good idea to invest in different kinds, because the more that you can spread your money out, the more protected it is in the market. That's it. Those are kind of the fundamental differences between a mutual fund and an index fund. And you're going to hear a lot of people talking about index funds now, probably because everyone just eats them up. For the passive investor, index funds can be a little bit easier. And if you're someone who also likes to use the stop loss tool, I did a little research this morning, and it turns out that you can put stop losses on your index fund investments. So this is really great if you like to use that as an investment strategy. I'm not sure if that's for every index fund. I just did a quick Google and read some results, so fingers crossed. But it seems like you should be able to do it just fine. A quick shout out to all of my new subscribers. Thanks for joining me here. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel for more fun investment information and also stuff about costumes, wigs, tutorials, things like that, because I am an artist. I like to make things, and making money is one of them. Subscribe to my channel if you want to debate index funds versus mutual funds.